Greetings, early childhood education students. Today's topic is ingredients of a successful early childhood teacher. In this class, we've learned a lot about what an early childhood teacher does. We've looked at classroom areas such as manipulatives, blocks, housekeeping, dramatic play, etc. And today we're going to really focus on what a successful early childhood teacher looks like, not just what they do. One of the purposes of you taking this class is to help you think about really what you want to do as you graduate from high school. So hopefully this presentation will help you know if being an early childhood teacher is in the future for you. So let's dive in. Why are we considering ingredients of a successful teacher? First of all, as we consider what job or profession we want to pursue, it's important that we find a good match for who we are and what qualities are important and essential to doing a job well. So we need to see who we are and see what we would need to do the job. Long-term job satisfaction is linked to the quality of our match or our fit with a job. I've had jobs where I was an excellent match and it was a delight having the job. And I've had jobs where I wasn't a very good match because the job just wasn't for me and that didn't go well. I spent 1 week in my life as a bank teller. That was not a good fit with me and that's why I only did that for 1 week. But again, long-term job satisfaction is linked to the quality of our match or fit with the job that we are doing. When it comes to teaching, children matter. Children really do matter. It's essential to have excellent teachers to help children learn and develop to their full potential. You have probably, since you're juniors and seniors, had some excellent teachers and some mediocre teachers and some not so good teachers. So we really want to focus on the importance of having excellent early childhood teachers. We know that this, or when we know that this, start over, when we know the skills, talents, and dispositions that are important to a profession, we can focus on strengthening who we are, becoming ever better, growing and learning as we go along. So if we learn that certain things are important for a profession and we already have some of those skills, we can focus on getting better at those skills. If we learn that we need a skill that we really don't have right now, we can work on learning that skill so that we can have that to help us do the job ahead of us. Couple more here. Just as with baking, as we're focusing on ingredients, lots of ingredients are essential when we're baking. Teachers in training, that is you, want to work on developing multiple ingredients to provide quality education for your future students. So if you end up being a teacher someday, you really want to have good quality ingredients to serve your students well. Fresh ingredients work best. Excellent teachers continue to freshen their skills and knowledge to support children's learning. So teachers continue learning well beyond high school, well beyond college. While you're teaching, you continue learning to keep your skills and your ingredients fresh for the students whom you teach. At this point, I would like you to consider just what ingredients do you think are important for teachers to have? What do you think teachers need to have in them to be good teachers? So, a few weeks back, knowing that I was going to be teaching on this topic, I put up there on the KISH Education Consortium Early Childhood Education Facebook page, I asked commenters to share just what ingredients are important for early childhood teachers to have. And this is what I learned back. Well, first of all, I said, please help me hit the target. The week of April 18, we will be learning about ingredients of a successful early childhood teacher. I invite you to help me prepare for this lesson. Please share your ingredient list by responding to this post. If you prefer, you could email me. Thanks in advance for your input. And several of the teachers that are on this page responded, and I'm going to share with you what they shared with all of us. And Wilson said flexibility, compassion, and a willingness to step back and not fix the situation right now, right away. And she was going to leave some ingredients for others. So she hit upon some important ones. Flexibility. No 2 days are going to go the same for you, so you have to be flexible. You need to be compassionate with the children, really understanding where they're coming from. And then the third one I thought was really good, a willingness to step back and not just fix the situation. If we want children to learn problem-solving skills, they have to practice problem-solving skills, and we can't jump in and fix everything. Joey Moore shared curiosity, and that's one that we're going to speak up about more in a little bit. Melissa shared empathy and compassion. So empathy is just really taking the role of the other person, taking the role of the child, understanding where they're coming from. And then compassion, just kind of like understanding where the child is coming from. Barb Christmas talked about being reflective on your practices and willing to change. So as we do our job, we need to continuously be thinking about how we're doing our job. Am I doing well, or are there things that I could change to do better? So we want to reflect upon what we're doing and be willing to change. Avra stated patience with a blue heart by it. Patience is a really important quality for teachers of all ages to have. I think in early childhood it's essential, as well as all grades that you might teach. Patience is important. The next thing she said was love and adoration for all the stages of early childhood. And I really love the emotion behind love and adoration. You really have to fall in love with the kids that you're teaching, really adore the different stages, whether it be infant or toddlerhood or preschoolers or second graders, whatever age you're teaching, you really need to adore and appreciate that age. Stephanie commented true partnership with families and active listening skills. So as we learned earlier in the semester about families, we really need to partner with them, really need to listen to them and honor them and really work with them day in and day out as we teach their children. Active listening skills, listening to kids, listening to other teachers, just really having your ears open, really listening to and processing what we hear. Couple more here. And Wilson responded to something I put up there, and she added creativity, willingness to continue learning yourself, which is also professional development. So we're going to speak on that one in a little bit as well. And then Margot, a friend that I've had since high school myself, who was an early childhood teacher, she said adequate rest. And I thought this was a really good one because teaching is tiring. And you really need to approach each day with rest so that you are your best for the kids that you're teaching. And then the next thing she said was understanding and frequent support from supervisors. How important that is. I have heard that the number one reason that people stay at jobs and leave jobs is the relationship that they have with the supervisor. If you have a great supervisor who is really supporting you, you are much more inclined to stay with that job. So we might think it's money or things like that, but it's really the relationship that we have with our supervisor that keeps us at a job or makes us want to leave a job. So I want you to reflect on that with any jobs that you've had as a high schooler and think what the role with your supervisor has been like. So that is what our Facebook readers shared with us. Now I'm going to go through about 10 or so of my recommended ingredients on the ingredient list. And I see a little typo on this slide. The first ingredient that I want to focus on is a loving heart. The way we treat others and talk to others comes from our heart. It comes from the inside of us. Qualities that teachers have, such as having compassion on others, speaking kindly and respectfully to others, giving grace and understanding to others, being gentle and kind, etc., comes from who we are as people. I strongly believe that these things come from our heart. When somebody isn't very kind to others, it's a really difficult thing for them to change because it kind of comes from within them. So it's a hard behavior to change if I see somebody who isn't very kind to others. So the first ingredient that I have is a loving heart. The second ingredient is creativity. Creativity for a teacher is used in classroom design. We spend a week learning about classroom design, and it's not easy. So you really need to be creative when you're designing your learning environment for your students. Curriculum and lesson planning, figuring out what you're going to do with children, what the objectives are, writing all that out, that requires some creativity. Developing process-oriented art activities. So as we learned earlier in the semester, it's really important to provide kids with process-oriented art activities. You can find those ideas on Pinterest and Google, but you can also develop them yourself. So creativity is an important skill for teachers. Another thing that teachers commonly do is they write newsletter articles, they write lesson plans. So you want to be able to be creative and clearly express yourself when you're writing documents. Presenting learning materials in new and interesting ways. We always want to keep learning fresh for students, so we always want to present things in new and innovative and interesting ways for them. Next ingredient I want to focus on that somebody else mentioned earlier was curiosity. A teacher who is curious helps children to be curious, asking questions such as, I wonder how this works. I wonder what would happen if. I'd like to learn more about. That didn't go as I expected. I wonder why. So when a teacher asks these questions and models asking these questions and then takes the next step to figure things out, the teacher is modeling curiosity for children. Next ingredient I listed is passion for subject. To effectively and enthusiastically teach a subject, it's important for a teacher to be passionate about it, to really love the subject that they're teaching about. You probably have had teachers who are passionate and teachers who are not so passionate about a subject. And those who are passionate have an easier time teaching about it because they want you to be passionate about it as well. In older grades, when the teacher has excitement for his or her subject, such as math, bio, chemistry, digital media, history, language arts, etc., then the teacher can help students to, in essence, catch the excitement, to become excited themselves. One more slide on passion for the subject. In early childhood and early grades, where the students are with one teacher or a team of teachers, it's helpful for the teachers to have a passion and excitement about teaching the age group and then helping the students get excited about learning in general. So the teacher isn't going to be teaching just biology. The teacher's going to be teaching a bunch of different things. So it's helpful for the early childhood teachers to have interest in those things like early math and science, dramatic play, block play, etc. So when an early childhood teacher talks about passion for the subject, they're really talking about passion for helping young children learn all the different things that they're going to help them learn. Strong work ethic is another ingredient. Teaching is hard work. As you know, I've done it for many years and was a director for many years. So teaching is hard work. Work ethics that help a teacher to be excellent include the following. Being hardworking and persevering. Hard work is what it's all about. Just really putting in a lot of time and energy in developing your curriculum and setting up your classroom, in writing a newsletter article, just working hard at those things. Persevering kind of goes along with it. Sometimes things won't be successful when you're doing it, so you have to think about it and think, what can I do different so I can persevere and do better the next time around? Energy and enthusiasm. As one of my Facebook friends commented about being well rested going into school, you want to be well rested and have energy and enthusiasm for teaching the students that you have. Another important work ethic is honesty and dependability. Just being honest with the students that you're serving, those that you're working with, and being dependable. You need to be a person who shows up every day unless you're really, really sick. So being dependable because the kids depend upon you to teach them. Going above and beyond, I think, is an important work ethic. Sometimes we can do just the minimum to squeak by, but when you're talking about teaching children, you don't want to do just the minimum. You want to really put a lot into what you're giving to them so that it can best help them. So going above and beyond, I think, is a strong work ethic for quality early childhood teachers. Being prepared, another one. This one kind of goes, well, I'll explain it a little bit here. When you show up for class and you're going to do an art experience that day, you don't have time to gather all the stuff that day. So being prepared and ready to meet the students and lead the art activity is important. Next ingredient I want to hit upon is being relational. Relationships are huge in teaching. Excellent teachers form and develop healthy relationships with the students in their class, parents of those students and guardians of those students, and family members of those students, co-teachers that you work with, and teachers in your building, administrators in your building, as well as community members. So it's really important for early childhood teachers and really all teachers to be able to be relational with others. Next ingredient is professionally oriented. Excellent teachers understand that they are part of a profession. They continue learning, lifelong learning. So this is a really important thing for teachers to do, is not just to earn your college degree and set out teaching, but to keep on learning, going to workshops, attending online learnings, reading books, watching other teachers, doing all those things that you can do to continue learning. Being flexible and willing to change and improve. So good teachers, part of their professional orientation is understanding that they're always going to be learning and improving. So you have to be willing to flex, willing to change, and willing to improve your practices. Another quality of being professional oriented is to collaborate with other teachers and administrators, to really work as a team. When you work together, the product that you come up with is typically better than the product if you worked by yourself. So you want to be able to work with the other teachers and administrators. Another thing you want to do is to present a professional image. Teachers should be professionals. They should lead themselves in a way where they can be respected by others, by parents, by students, by the community. So present a professional image is very important. I would caution you as your high school students just to remember that the things you do now on social media, future employers are going to look at. Those things may be there forever. So you really want to make sure that the image that you present as a high schooler is something that you're not going to be embarrassed or ashamed of when an employer looks at it in the future. Next one is have fun. So a characteristic of excellent teachers, people generally like to have fun. I think we would all agree upon that. An excellent teacher works hard to make learning fun by doing several things. Designing a fun, engaging learning environment. Teaching in fun and creative ways, finding new ways to introduce topics to students. Enjoying being with students and coworkers. It's very evident when a teacher is having fun and enjoying where they're at versus when they are not. And having their funness be contagious. Obviously, funness is not a word, but when teachers have fun and teachers laugh when they're working, teachers laugh when they're experimenting, teachers laugh when they're building something, it's contagious, and kids learn to have fun as well with teachers. A few other ingredients that I want to hit upon as we end this session would be organized. Organization is very important. You're planning lessons for weeks ahead. You've got to get all your materials ready for that day. You need to be really well organized to be an effective teacher. Prepared goes along with organized. You want to prepare things ahead of time so when kids are ready to learn, you are ready to teach and help them to learn. Patient with students. Patient is very important, really with all age groups of students. We really want to meet students where they're at and help them move along to the next place. So we want to be patient with students. These ones I grouped together. Other ingredients are to be loving, to be caring, to be gentle, to be supportive. Very important qualities for working with students. Enjoyment of the age group that you teach. Some people love teaching infants and have always taught infants and always want to teach infants. Others, that would not be their age group. They would prefer second graders. So you really have to find the age group that you want to teach, because then you're going to be happiest because you'll be able to enjoy that group the most. Goal-oriented is also an important thing. So you set some goals for yourself, whether it's something you want to learn, whether it's something that you want to teach on. You set those goals and then you work toward those goals so you can deliver and meet those goals, etc. I'm sure you're thinking of some characteristics that we haven't covered here. And there's a lot of different characteristics that can help a teacher to be effective in their role. Wow. Is it really possible for a teacher to have all of these ingredients? That is a big question. We've gone through a lot of ingredients and it may seem impossible, but I want to offer three things. Goal number one is to strengthen what we're already good at. So if you're already organized, you can just become better organized. If you're creative, you can become more creative, just to really strengthen what we're good at. This is something that we enjoy doing because we're already good at it, so getting better at it is satisfying to us. Goal two, find ways to improve where you have opportunities for improvement. So like we have things that we're good at, we also have things that we're not so good at. Patience might not come real naturally to you, so you can figure out how to develop skills to strengthen what you're not that good at. You may want to watch others who are really good at those things and learn from them, or ask them questions to find out how they do what they do so well. Goal three is to become ever better. I had a friend who used this term to talk about trying to be better tomorrow than we are today. So our goal is not to be perfect. If our goal is to be perfect, we would all quit right now because perfection is impossible. But we can have the goal to become ever better, to try to be better tomorrow than we are today. So hopefully you have learned some important ingredients about being a teacher, and you can really reflect on those things. You can say, yep, I got that one and that one and that one. That's what I need to work on. That's what I need to work on. Yep, I have that one too. So you can kind of reflect on where you're at with those ingredients. And this week's assignment is going to help you to do just that. So this is going to be a different assignment than I have given before in this class. This is going to be a writing assignment. You're going to write a paper. Don't be intimidated. Don't be scared. You're going to write a paper on the following topic: characteristics of excellent teachers. We just reviewed a boatload of them, so that should be something that you can easily access. This is going to be your opportunity to show your understanding of why it is important for teachers to strive to be excellent. Why is it important to be a great teacher? You're going to describe some characteristics of excellent teachers. And then you're going to reflect on your characteristics that you have that would help you to be a good teacher. Your paper should include at least 4 paragraphs. First paragraph should be an introductory paragraph. Maybe you could talk about why it is important for children to have excellent teachers. Just why is that important? So you'll think on that and you'll write a few sentences on why that is important. My suggestion for body paragraph 1 would be some characteristics or qualities of an excellent teacher. So don't just provide a list, but you can write them in sentences. Pick a few of the characteristics or qualities or ingredients that you would find to be the most important ones to be an excellent teacher. The second paragraph, everybody, some characteristics that you have that would make you a good teacher. So this is where that reflection really comes in, where you're going to think about, yeah, I'm patient. Yes, creativity is something I love. I love making pictures and I would love to do art activities with kids. So you're going to think about those things, those characteristics that would make you be a good teacher. And then your last paragraph, you're just going to summarize. You're going to add a summary, kind of a recap to what you have written about with a nice summary sentence at the end. So that is the basic essence of what I would like this paper to include. A little evaluation criteria, kind of a general rubric for you to think about as you're writing. I would like each paragraph to have at least 5 sentences, so they're decent length paragraphs. I'd like for your thoughts to be well organized and clearly expressed. I'd like you to make sure to use accurate spelling and proper grammar. I'd like you to have a minimum of 4 paragraphs. You're welcome to make this a longer paper if you want. Sometimes having a constraint of 4 paragraphs makes it harder to write because you want to write about more skills that would be in a good teacher. You want to write more things about yourself. So a minimum of 4 paragraphs I would be looking for. And lastly, I'm going to look for strong effort shown. I really want you to take this assignment as an opportunity to really clearly express yourself, to really do some reflection and some thinking about yourself. So I really want strong effort shown. I debated offering this assignment to you guys, but then I realized that you guys are high school juniors and seniors. You've written papers before. I know you've written papers before, and I also know that in the future you're going to probably be writing papers again, no matter which kind of direction you go. So that is why I've offered this assignment to you. I also want to throw this out there. If you have decided that teaching, that's not really what I want to do as a future direction, you are welcome to modify the topic. For example, you could write on characteristics of excellent dental hygienist. So you'd have to do a little bit of learning to figure out what are those characteristics, and then you'd have to figure out kind of what you have within you that would make you be good in that role. You could do characteristics of an excellent cook if being a cook is something that you would aspire to. Characteristics of an excellent YouTube influencer if something you want to do. Characteristics of blank. You can fill in the blank. So I want this to be open-ended. You can write about teaching if you wish to. You could write about something totally different if you wish to as well. And that brings us to an end of this presentation on ingredients of being a successful and excellent early childhood teacher. Thank you.